morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Have you ever wanted to have this life that you knew was possible, but you couldn't quite grasp how to get it? I want to ask you first, when you look at this photo, what are the feelings that you have?
Disorganized.
Disorganized.
Need to take a trip to Goodwill.
Take a trip to Goodwill. What else?
Stress.
Stress. Now, could you imagine starting your day like this? If you had to walk into this closet and this is where you had to make your first decision of the day, how do you think that would set the tone of your day?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, right? What else? Am I using my decisions wisely in the morning? No, I'm wasting my decisions. And there's such a thing as decision fatigue, right? If we have to make too many decisions too early, it takes us away from making the good decisions or the better decisions later. What about this in the evening? If this is the last thing you saw before you went to bed, how might you feel? Doug, what would you feel?
I want to burn it down.
Just be done with it. You wouldn't feel educated? No?
Not at all.
Okay. What else? Rob, how would you feel?
It needs a door.
The door, right? Or a sheet, maybe like a cover, one of those barn doors if you just slide it across. Well, what I had to realize about myself was I went through this opportunity to have a decluttering process. It's something I've been doing for years, but I traveled so much in my 20s and then I moved a lot in my 30s, and it just was easier to pick up boxes and put them in new spaces versus actually go through them and figure out, do they actually match the version of who I am today? And do I actually need these items? For me, when I would look at that bookshelf, I used to think, I've had so much life I lived, and it just makes me happy that I was able to learn the things I did in grad school and my undergrad or even high school, and then now I have all these kid books. Books made me feel comfortable and warm until they didn't. Until it became an argument with the kids at the end of the night because they couldn't make a decision as to what book to pick out, right? So the idea of what I thought the book gave me versus what it actually did in my daily life, or the clothes I was keeping. I was keeping clothes that reminded me of the version I was in my 20s because I loved them. T-shirts from leadership camps and T-shirts from hiking in different canyons. And I just didn't want to let that go because I had this fear, if I let the T-shirt go, if I let this go, would I remember backpacking Europe? Would I remember going to Fiji where I bought this? Would I remember that version of Jessie? The backpacker, the adventure, and never knew what the day was going to bring her? If I got rid of this book from a mentor that I loved, that told me so many things and that helped me have priorities in my life, would I forget the lesson? So as you sit here and watch this presentation today, I want you to think about, are you doing the same things? Are you keeping things because you're afraid that if you let go of the thing, you'll let go of a part of yourself? And that's what I had to work through when I had this opportunity to go through things that I've constantly wanted to take the time to do it. But you know how this goes. In daily life, when do we ever think that we have time to sit and reflect? No, we just go and go on to the next thing, and it just gets put off. And if there was a sliver of a space, awesome, I could put another book in there. But I had to realize and face, what was that actually making me feel inside? Because the fact is, the more that we see, the more that is input in our brain, really the feelings that it's giving us, like you all mentioned, stress, mental fatigue. Do I want mental fatigue when I wake up? Gosh, no. How am I going to do my life if I'm already tired by having to figure out what I wanted to wear in that mess of a closet? Reduced focus. It's taking energy that could be put so many other places. And really, like Brenda said, it's just overwhelmed. And when I had to sit and listen to the question my friend asked me, she basically just said, before I even got started, because I said, I'm really nervous. I'm afraid to let this go. Like, not that there was grief, but it was like a fear of, if I let it go, then somehow I can't ever access it again. And she just said, I want you to focus on the feeling. When you open this closet, what is the feeling you want? When you look at that bookshelf, what is the feeling that you want? And I knew it, right? Who's been to a VRBO in here? Anybody? Airbnb? What is the feeling that you have when you go to that? Kelly?
It's calming because it's usually very clear and it's very simple when you go to Airbnb.
Absolutely. You get to be present in the moment. And that's what I had to realize. That was the shift I made. Wait a second. If I actually have clarity and calmness, I'm able to access all those versions of myself from college, from high school that I loved. But if I have to feel mental fatigue and exhaustion, am I really getting to be that better version of myself? I'm not. So here was the makeover that we did yesterday. Who wants to guess how many hours this actually took us? There was 2 sides of this. I'm just showing you one. So it was a full length closet. How many hours? Just yell it out.
2.
2 hours.
5.
5. Okay. Right in the middle, it actually took 4 hours. I did the bookshelf last Monday and I did the closet yesterday. Both were only 4 hours of a day. I had been lugging this stuff around for 14 years. And it took me 8 hours to cleanse my space. Now when we look at this, my kids each have a row for their books that are at their level. Part of the frustration was they could never find a book that actually met their need because they were all scattered everywhere. Plus all my books were still in there. So it was time to move out and update. Because the reality is, everything we own is inventory and a decision we have to make. And look at all those decisions I was putting on myself. And now look at all the decisions I let go of. Woo! So just to show you top to bottom, I mean, we got rid of 27 shelves of things. That is so freeing. I can't tell you how good I felt. I went in so nervous and scared. And after we were done, I felt so much relief and I felt just so much ease in my day-to-day life, which was my goal. This is my friend Lisa, who has really taken on knowing that this is her craft and she has blessed me with her time. So I just want to say to you, sitting, sifting, and sharing is far better than setting it somewhere and having this fear of forgetting who you are. And to close today, when I have less, what I've realized, allows me to focus on what's really important. I need to make space. I am bringing another human into this world. I want to be as present as possible and be available, not be overwhelmed by clutter. And here's my son, so excited. Mom, look I have books that I can read. And that feeling of overwhelm has been replaced with joy. Thank you.
Yay.